Georgia is peaking at the right time. I mean, they are really going in the right direction these last couple weeks. They are ascending. And when you look at what just transpired with Alabama, for example, and how Alabama let mistakes kind of get in the way, Georgia has been really smart all season long. They haven't made a ton of mistakes. They haven't had a lot of issues. And this was a very competitive game for 3 quarters. And it was really a lot of fun to watch, frankly. This was loving going through this tape earlier today. It was really, really fun. And this was a game, this was a war along the line of scrimmage there early on. And if you look at it, man, it was one player here or there. It was a great open field tackle. It was a play here by this safety that was coming up and fitting the run. It was a lot of mistakes from Texas, too. There were some drops, some very uncharacteristic mistakes from the Longhorns. But it was very impressive to see the switch flip there in the fourth quarter. This is now Georgia's 6th straight victory, their 3rd win over Texas in the last 2 years, including the SEC championship game last year. Gunnar Stockton was again outstanding. Accounts for 5 touchdowns. He's one of the most efficient players I've seen in quite some time. With what he does with his arm, with what he does with his legs, with how smart he is when delivering the football, where he's throwing it, the windows that he hits, the guy just doesn't miss throws. If you watch him, I mean, there are very few throws that are significantly off target. Almost every throw that he makes is catchable, which is pretty remarkable. And I think he's playing at an outrageously high level. And what's paying off for Mike Bobo, their offensive coordinator, early in the season, they were very committed to running the football. And they are still, by the way, still very committed to running the football. This is a run-first operation. But because of that commitment, you're now seeing a very strong commitment to play action. If you look at their play action numbers, over half of his attempts were off play action. And on his touchdown passes, he had 4 of them. 3 of those 4 touchdown passes were off play action as well. And even the rushing score was on a rollout too, right? Off a play action fake. So he has been really good. And on this day, those 15 attempts off play action, he was 14 of 15. So the commitment to the run is getting a ton of bite from the secondary, getting a ton of bite from the linebackers, and it's allowing guys to uncover. So you also look too, it's of creating big plays because of that commitment, these guys are now getting nosy, which is allowing Stockton to push the ball down the field. He was 4 of 6 on throws that were thrown more than 15 yards downfield for 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. So very, very effective in this game off play action. And that's something that can continue to build because they have great juice at wide receiver. They have outstanding tight ends. So it's not surprising that this group is really starting to round into form with their way they're marrying up the run game to the pass game. It should all be perfect in a perfect mesh, and it's starting to become that way for Georgia. As far as their defense is concerned, they really squeezed things down there in the second half. They really did a good job there, especially in the fourth quarter. Just bottling up the run, squeezing the pocket, making Arch Manning uncomfortable. Thought there were some opportunities there for Texas, but they just couldn't make them because the level of discomfort that it felt like Arch Manning had throughout the game. This was a really solid defensive performance, I thought, from the get-go, especially on the first drive. Even just allowing the field goal on the first drive, you can see the adjustments that are always made by Glenn Schumann and Kirby Smart. They deserve immense credit. The best coaching move in this game, though, was the surprise onside kick. Extremely aggressive, massive moment, and all of a sudden, you have the 21-10 lead. You feel like, okay, you can kind of take a deep breath, right? After that point, you would think that, yes, while things are chaotic between the hedges and the crowd is invigorated, you can immediately end the game right there. You don't just take a deep breath. You don't relax. Instead, you go for the jugular. That's exactly what they did by Peyton Woodring hitting a perfect onside kick that completely caught the left side of Texas's return team off guard. They get the recovery. Next thing you know, it's a 28-10 lead in the blink of an eye. For Texas, I think this probably eliminates them from college football playoff conversation. People have talked for a while now about the possibility of a 3-loss Texas team maybe making it in the field. But right now, it's hard for me to envision Texas getting into the mix if everyone else in front of them holds serve. I think they need help. And help might come. It, of course, starts, though, by beating Arkansas this upcoming week and then beating Texas A&M in convincing fashion on Black Friday. But there were way too many drop passes in this game, way too many mistakes in this game. They were solid, but you have to be great to beat Georgia. You have to execute at a high level. And when you have opportunities against the Dogs, you have to seize them. Texas didn't. And as a result, Georgia continues to march along and should be in a great position to secure possibly a top 4 seed in the college football playoff.